Let's get started then. So Gal, welcome to RecTech Live. First of all, you're coming to us from Hoboken, New Jersey at the U.S. offices there for Talenya. How's the start of the new year been for you guys so far?
You go on and off. I don't hear you quite
okay.
well. I hope you will be fine. But can you repeat your question?
Yeah, how's the start of the new year been for you guys?
It's very well, very well. We cannot keep up with the activities, so we're hiring a lot more people, and it's going well.
Yep. Now, do you hire recruiters or sources as well?
No, we use our own technology.
Okay. So just tell everyone, give them a quick background on your history with the industry itself, because you've been around for a while with things like Real Match, but give them a quick bio on you.
All right. So I hope you guys can hear me. The communication here has been a bit rough, so I apologize for not starting on time, but I appreciate your time. I'm a veteran of the recruitment technology industry over 20 years. My previous company is a company you may have heard called PandaLogic, used to be called Real Match, a world leader in recruitment advertising technology. And I founded it and ran it until 2017 when I started Talenya. And I'm here to tell you about Talenya. We are targeting a different market than we did at Real Match, and a very big opportunity that I'd like to share with you.
Yeah. So, when did you get the first seeds of an idea for Talenya? And what is the product? Give us a 30-second description of the product, if you could.
All right. I can hear you, so it's going to be a challenge. But Talenya is disrupting the passive job seeker market. We're going after the market that is now being served by recruitment agencies and by company internal talent acquisition teams. Our clients are internal talent acquisition teams, and we have automated the talent sourcing to the extent that we have invented AI-powered bots that can take care of the entire sourcing for a company and can actually engage with potential candidates and bring them to an interview. So basically, the manual work of talent acquisition professionals can now be fully automated, and not that it can be automated, but it can do a better job than humans can do using AI and machine learning. And I want to make sure that you hear me.
Yes.
All right. So hope you can hear me. I cannot hear you, but we can chat. So Talenya has invented the world's first and currently only talent sourcing bot. It's in addition to talent acquisition teams. It works 24/7, never takes a vacation, never complains, doesn't ask for a raise, and it does a better job than humans in sourcing candidates. I'd like to explain the challenges that we've been able to address and crack. Mainly three challenges. One is that the data on talent is poor, partial, and not up to date. LinkedIn is obviously the main source for candidate data, but there are other sources that I'm sure you know, website, blogs, job sites, and so forth, so on. So if you want to have the full information about people, you need to get it from multiple sources, but you also need to make sure that it's fresh and has been updated in real time. The other challenge is that even if you have the data and even if it's fresh, the search techniques that are being used by recruiters are very antiquated, inefficient, and problematic. This is Boolean search, and Boolean search is primarily keywords or search string that says bring this skill or that skill and that skill, and you really need to know all the job titles, all the skills, all the permutations in order to find the candidates, and then anything that has at least one match between your keywords and the candidate profile will bring that candidate to a search, and then you need to go one by one and decide whether that candidate is a fit or not, and then call them. I didn't think that was a very efficient way to search in general, but no one is doing it other than in recruitment. So I was determined to change that and use other techniques to find talent. And the third challenge is that even if you have the data, only computers can read through the data and find information above and beyond what the data seems to a human. For example, we'd like to know whether the candidate is more likely to be interested in a new job, and not because it just changed their status on LinkedIn or said, looking for my next challenge, but using career patterns, social signals. We'd like to prioritize the candidates based on not only their match score, but also based on their likelihood to respond to a job offer. And that is not available just by reading through profiles. So we've cracked these challenges, as I explained, and as a result, we are able to tap into a talent pool that traditional tools are unable to tap into. We estimate that additional talent pool to be at around 66% of the talent pool. A lot of these people may have a profile on LinkedIn, but they will not be found by using traditional tools that are available today in the market using Boolean search. So how do we do it? We do it in a different way. We eliminate Boolean search. We use job description, but to a limited extent, because job descriptions are primarily marketing documents. They don't really reflect the true needs of the hiring manager or the recruiter. And even if they do reflect that, recruiting is a psychological process where you look at candidates and then you decide whether you are interested in speaking with them or not.
Yeah.
And we have developed a new process where you teach the bot what you want, and your teaching helps the bot create a search that is a lot more targeted on the one hand. On the other hand, allows the bot to go above and beyond just keywords. Once a search is created, the bot would go out in real time and collect information from hundreds of sources and build profiles for you. And because a lot of people fail to put all the skills and all the experience they have on their profiles, we have invented a new technology called derived skills, which means that we would artificially add those skills to the profiles of the candidate so they can be found by our technology. And it's a very, very high precision as far as the skill that we're adding to the people in order to make sure that they come up on the search, even though they themselves did not put those skills. The result of that automated bot-generated search is that we have a hit list of candidates that are prioritized by two scores. One is the match score, how qualified they are for the job, must have, nice to have, from the right industry, with the right seniority and things like that, and a likely to move score, which is how likely they are to be interested in a new job, so we can go after the more likely to move candidates. And then the bot would go after this candidate. So shortly, before I show you a demo, to just give you an overview of the process, which is completely new, you go to our platform, you upload the job description, and you upload a perfect candidate profile, someone you'd like to clone. Then the bot would present to you a couple of profiles for feedback, just so we can calibrate your search around specific preferences. And then it would show you the hit list of candidates for your job. It will tell you how many candidates are for your job in the market, how many are looking for a job or likely to be looking for a job, and give you a chance to say which one you want the bot to fetch. And you can specify the candidate that you'd like the bot and go out and fetch, or you can say, you know, I see that you really understand what I want. You go ahead and continue with your review, and I'll fetch the candidates who are interested to an interview. and the bot would go out and fetch candidates. It would communicate with them via LinkedIn. It would communicate with them via email and other ways. And if they're interested, bring them to an interview. The bot will not interview them. We're not an agency, and we don't think this is needed for most jobs, but it would send them messages. The company can control the messages, but we have ways to optimize the messages and have a sequence of messages to increase the response rate and push them straight into the applicant tracking system or to our system. The bottom line is that we expand the reach beyond traditional tools. So if you were to do a similar search on LinkedIn, you are a good Boolean searcher, you're likely to get 66% less candidate that we would get, and sometimes it's hundreds of percent less on LinkedIn than with our tool. And we can help you accelerate engagement, send messages to hundreds of candidates, and push the ones who are interested. The bottom line is that the bot can generate double or triple the number of interviews per job, lower your cost and time to hire.
Okay.
In general, just to explain why we're different than any other tool. So we're not a keyword search tool. It's all automated, much smarter. It's fresh data. So if you use, tools like Intello and Hartual, you are probably looking at data that is 3 to 12 months old. That can be eternity in recruitment. We prioritize the candidates for you. It's not just, the keyword comes up or not. And we set engagement, including emails. We provide you an analysis of the talent pool, so you can go back to your manager and say, the talent pool is too small. We need to change our requirements, and we also recommend how to change the requirements. And at the end of the process, we always have a human from our staff helping you with hard searches, difficulties and things like that. Because every job could be different, and we want to have the human support in addition to what we have. Right. So I hope you guys can see. And the job read through the job description. It picked the job title. It's technical project lead at Google. It found job titles of similar people, so we can expand the search beyond just that job title. And you can see these are not just keywords. This is AI suggesting job titles, and then it found the must-have skills of that job, and it did find that this job requires project management, but also C# or Java or Python, and it grouped 3 skills together to use them as OR, and it used software testing and testing as OR. I don't really need to do much. I can change a tweak, years of experience and things like that. This is a job in Austin, Texas. It found a specialty. This is taking from the company LinkedIn account. Each company has specific specialty, which we use to find candidates who are working in similar environment. It picked the education. It picked the seniority range. There were no languages. And I'm going to just move to the next one. So the bot understands the job description and can read beyond the job description. Then it shows me examples of candidates that I'd like to select as examples for that job. I can click and select the candidate, or I can upload my own. And I just selected one. One is enough. Then the bot would read this candidate profile and suggest 5 additional profiles for me to rate. So I'm going to go and say yes, and I'm going to say to the next one no, and it would ask me for the reasons, and I say skills, and it showed me the skills that I put, and I say I forgot SQL, so please add SQL as a job title to your search. Okay, let's not do it. And then I update the search. I can do the same for for job titles, industry, specialties, and so forth, so on. I'm going to do next and just quickly go through this. I will say, not the right job title, and just don't show me any job titles like this, and that would be eliminated from the search. You can see that every jobs comes with a display of the critical skills that we wanted, so I can make sure that he is the right person. They come from anywhere in the world, so it's not specific to your location, but it's now calibrating the search so the bot can understand exactly what you're looking for based on your feedback. This is the end of the process. Now the bot goes out and looking for talent in hundreds of sources, fresh talent, and building their profiles. So I can have my hit list and specify to the bot which candidates I want the bot to fetch. So it's finished, and I have my list. It didn't take more than a couple of minutes. And the search that has been created, which I'll show you, is a lot more extensive than the searches that you may be familiar with, doing Boolean search. It found a lot. It showed me the 100 top candidates. It doesn't show pictures or names in order to avoid bias and discrimination. So it's all based on merits and skills and experience and matching. And what I need to do now is go and specify to the bot that I want that candidate and fetch it. For some reason, my internet is very slow, so my apologies. So this is the first candidate, and I'm looking and I'm seeing whether I like that candidate. I will say yes, add that candidate to my contact list, and go fetch them. And if I click here on my contact list, which I create myself, you will see that the candidate has a lot more skills that you would find typically on LinkedIn. They have contact information. You can scroll down and can see a lot of skills that the candidate has. And as you notice here, there are some skills with asterisks. They are derived skills. These are skills that we've added to that candidate profile based on AI analysis. You can see that candidate has maybe 200 skills. If you look at their LinkedIn profile, you will see they have a lot less, I assume only a few dozen. So it just shows you the power of our solution compared to LinkedIn and other tools in finding candidates that regular tools cannot find, because people don't put all of that information on their profiles. So let's look at skills and experience of that candidate. They have, I would say, 40, and we have 200. So if we were looking for a specific skill that they didn't have on their profile, they wouldn't come up. Okay, let me show you from the bot perspective the search that has been created. I'm going to click here and show you the search that we just completed and you watched me completing. And so on the left side of the screen, you can see the keywords that the bot has created for that search. So you can see how many job titles, and this is certainly more than a human can put. You can see how many, it's still coming up. There's a lot of candidates and come up in a second. Okay, so you can see job titles on the left. You can see skills. They have different colors denoting different weight and importance. You can see specialties, education. This is not something that you could possibly expect a human to create. If you click on that person's profile, you can see how extensive it. You can see he has 2 scores. One is a MET score, and one is a likely to move score. That person received 100% likely to move score, and this is because they probably indicated that somewhere, and we picked that. Okay, either in text. That's easy, but much more difficult is to figure out that they are 80% or 90% likely to move, even though they did not specify it on their profiles. And I think I'll stop here, and happy to answer questions via text.
Okay. So let me close the video out here. All right.
Okay,
Yeah, can
so
you hear me now?
you asked me to specify specific sources. So I know everyone is saying that, and we're saying that as well. I'll tell you, the main ones that I'm sure you know. Um, LinkedIn, obviously, GitHub, Stack Overflow. Indeed, we collect information from public sources. So our search is really on Google, and we pick blogs, and we pick public profiles, anything that Google would index and comes up. We have a way to find it. We also own a database of 800 million profiles. So we could do very well without any other source. And we have our own database of 800 million profiles from around the world. And we always look for fresh information, because even our 800 millions is not updating daily. So when we have a job, we go and collect fresh information on the candidate that we have, just to make sure we present to the client fresh information. All right. The other question is, I'm not trying to be difficult, but Intello boasts hundreds of candidates for anything, and it was all based on all data that has not been verified. You're very right. So they have all the information. Two limitation with product like Intello. Intello is one of the better ones. First of all, it's not fresh information, but we guarantee fresh information, and you saw that in a live demo where we bring, and I invite you to test it, and you can see in your own eyes that it is all fresh information. It's critical. But also, even if Intello had fresh information, they use Boolean search. So they are not better than LinkedIn or Hire2All or Amazing Hiring in that respect. And Boolean search is as good as the Boolean searcher, and as good as the information that the Boolean search can find on the profile. So there's no AI, there's no machine learning. You saw we're not using Boolean search. We're using the bot to build searches around profile and feedback. It's a completely different search, and that's the main reason why we find more candidates. And I invite you to try it. In every trial, we do a search on LinkedIn, and we do a search on our platform where we do a side-by-side comparison to prove that to you. And in addition, I don't think that anyone is providing the engagement part on top of LinkedIn messages and things like that. You're not going to have someone helping you with the searches if you run into a situation where the talent pool is too small. So that's the difference. So, the question, can you give the information a thumbs up or thumbs down for your AI to learn if it's accurate? So we do use the thumbs up and thumbs down to teach the bot. This is exactly what we do, and we can, when you thumbs down, we give you an opportunity to give the reason and teach the bot whether to bring or not to bring specific candidates, and that's a whole difference. And you may have a search with hundreds of candidates coming up on LinkedIn, but 80% would not be relevant, and you don't really have a way to exclude. Another question was, can you give the information? Oh, sorry. Since it sounds like LinkedIn is your primary data set, if so, would you know by percentage how much of your sources is LinkedIn and how much are others? So the main source is our own database. As I mentioned, 800 million profiles. LinkedIn is important, but I think that you would agree that for technical roles, for example, GitHub or Stack Overflow would be a better source. So it's a combination. I just showed you an example where LinkedIn had 20 skills and we had 200. So obviously we had other sources to pick those skills, and we also added skills based on AI. So someone said, I need a rifle, not a shotgun. Number of candidates does not impress me. I can get me a few hundred resume up on a good Boolean search. I need a way to get very specific. So I'm sorry I didn't explain that well, Steve, because this is exactly what we do. We eliminate Boolean search because Boolean search will get you hundreds and hundreds of candidates. As you start adding skills and requirement and experience, it may shrink it, but you'll never know whether you added the right requirement at the right sequence and what's the pool. So this is AI. We're not giving you hundreds. We're giving you just the ones who are qualified, and we rank them. So anyone who's below 70% is not even shown to you. And typically it's 80 to 90%. And again, the way we weight the matching, it's much beyond what you can do in Boolean search. For example, if you are a candidate working in a competing company, we'll give you a higher score, match score. Really, if you've been doing Boolean search, that is much about finding a lot of talent and then going one by one by one. That's not our way. I don't think this is the proper way to find talent. To me, it's silly, and we don't do it this way. And on top of this, we provide the engagement part, which saves you the need to go one by one. We rank them not only by the match score, but also by their likelihood to move, so we can get to the candidates at the right timing. So Chris asked, how do you keep your data fresh and current? So the answer is we don't update our database all the time. We only update the database for a specific job that is uploaded in real time. So the database may be 3 months old, but as you upload a new job into our system, we then use the bot to go out in real time and fetch fresh information from multiple sources. That's not what you would get with Entelo and Virtual. You would get multiple sources, which we do as well, but it's not up-to-date information. And again, it's Boolean search, so you are stuck in the traditional ways of looking for talent, which I think is silly. Okay, so pricing, we license the software per bot. So basically a seat per recruiter, and it depends on whether you want only the sourcing or you also want the engagement part. It varies, and every bot comes with the LinkedIn recruiter license, so we can do the email engagement part. It's part of the pricing, and it's anywhere between $1,000 to $2,000 per month per bot. And it would replace completely humans who do only sourcing and free up recruiters to do recruitment and not do sourcing, because the bot can be fed with the job and get you candidates within hours and days as opposed to weeks or months. So people are skeptical here. Alan say, so you get the bot and a LinkedIn recruiter seat. The bot uses the seat. It's not you that use the seat. It's the bot that uses the seat. It's always a LinkedIn recruiter license of a person, someone working at Talenya, from whose account the messages are being sent. So nuances are important. So do you search on a direct level, global head, or third-party risk for the SaaS company with experience with global AML sanction? And well, I'm not familiar with that job, but we do. So the bot would understand what, and I invite everyone to try the bot for free. And you'll be, I think, quite impressed. And it's not about the keywords. You mentioned keywords here, and that's not what we do, Steve. We show you profiles of people we think are proper for your job, and you say yes or no, and then that teaches the bot how to improve your search. So there's a question here from Chris. What other channels can the bot communicate through beside LinkedIn? Email, and we're now testing texting. But right now it's email and LinkedIn, and we do have email and LinkedIn for most jobs, and we also have telephone numbers. So we always encourage our clients to call the candidate themselves, and that will increase the response. Some people don't respond to a third party, but they get a list and they get contact information, and they're welcome to contact these people themselves. And again, I know there's a lot of skepticism. One of our biggest challenges is that some recruiters push back on using a bot because that may threaten their jobs, but we can show them that that's not the case. A bot can only empower a recruiter, help them achieve their goals, because it would do things that cannot be done using traditional Boolean manual search tools. And if the goal is to be successful, then you need to move to this kind of technology. And guys, I think that in a couple of years, we will look back and will not believe that we used to search for talent using Boolean search keywords and then sift through listings and then call them one by one. It would look silly to us. And I encourage you to explore, what we are now offering. Okay, other question. Okay, if someone said he's already looked, Steve, on LinkedIn for 5-year contract, I don't suggest you drop LinkedIn because for some jobs, you may be better off on LinkedIn, and I cannot do anything about your 5-year contract. But if you want to achieve your recruitment goals, I suggest you try a bot and see how many more candidates it can bring that LinkedIn cannot bring. Yeah, you don't need to buy a LinkedIn seat with us. You can use the bot, and the bot comes with a LinkedIn recruiter license that is used for engagement, not for search. All right. Well, can we buy a bot without buying the LinkedIn? Yes, you can. If you don't like the engagement part of our service, then yes, it's a cheaper license, and the bot would only use to generate a hit list for you without the need to use the bot for engagement. Yes, you're welcome to test it, and you're welcome to contact me. We'll set the demo. Typically, what we do is we take 1 or 2 jobs from you, and we run them through the bot, and we run them on LinkedIn or another tool, and then we compare and show you the additional interviews that you are able to get using the bot, and the time and the cost saving. Okay, we can talk, Steve, about the commercial issues about the email. If you have so many emails, maybe I'll buy some emails from you. Just kidding. So my email is gal.almog@talenya.com. You're welcome to contact me. I offer, a free trial of the bot. Happy to chat with you offline. My apologies for, all the technical difficulties. I wish I could speak with you and hear you, but it's better than nothing, and my apologies.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Gal, and appreciate
Thanks, everyone.
the demo, and we'll see you later.